we're going to be talking about square roots. Before we get to square roots, we have to look at squares. When I say square, we usually talk about this little number 2 that is above the number 1 or number 2, 3, 4. We call it 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, or 4 square. That 2 is called an exponent. And the 1 in here, or the 2 or the 3 and the 4, we call it the base. What does the exponent tell me? The exponent tells me how many times does that base, that number, multiply itself by itself. So for instance in here, I have 1 times 1. The 1 multiplies itself 2 times. So the answer would be 1. 2. The exponent is telling me take the number 2 and multiply it by itself 2 times. 2 squared. So we do 2 times 2, which will be 4. Then we have a number 3, right? 3, and this is a typo, it should be 2. 3 to the second power, or 3 squared, is also 3 multiplied by itself 2 times. So it's 3 times 3, which equals 9. And then we have 4 squared, which is 4 times 4, which equals 16. We have learned about exponents, and then I'm sure you have seen square roots. Square root looks like this little house. We call it a radical. Square root is opposite of exponent. So just like multiplication and division undo each other, addition and subtraction will undo each other. Exponents and square roots, the radicals, will cancel each other out. So if you were ever given, for instance, square root of number 4, that is asking you which 2 numbers that are identical will multiply itself to give you 4. Well, I know is 2 times 2, so the answer will be 2. And there is one more that can give me positive 4. It also can be negative 2 times negative 2. So this is one correct answer, which also can be a negative 2. So square roots have 2 possible answers. Let's look at one more real quick. If I had square root of 16, which 2 numbers that are identical multiply themselves to give me 16? Well, I know it's 4. 4 times 4 is 16, as well as negative 4 times negative 4 will give me 16. 2 possible answers. How does this play in when it comes to squares? We have
Diana
a square.
Ash to the front office for delivery.
And the
Diana
square
Ash to the front office, please.
has sides that are identical. This side is identical to that side. To find an area of a square, we have to multiply these 2 sides. So we do side times side. And if I have 2 numbers or 2 letters that are the same, we call it A equals side to the second power, or side square. You are given in this problem area, and they say area is equal to 121 feet square. Step 1 to find a measure of the side is write down the formula. A equals side squared. After, you have to take the 121, because you know A is 121, and replace it, substitute in. So we have A is 121 equals side square. Now, what we've talked about earlier, we said we have to get rid of the exponent, and there's only one way to get rid of that exponent, and that is by taking a square root. Square root will cancel out that square. What I do on one side, I have to do the other side. What 2 numbers give me 121 when multiplied by themselves? Well, I know it's 11 times 11, right? A number that is identical multiplied by itself. So my answer is 11 equals S. Each side on this square measures 11 feet. Sounds good?